we talk about owning our life all the time. That's what this business is all about. I talk about the season of your life, which is why this week is really cool for me, because I've really taken in that in 11 years, I've called it the season of my life. And I've been pushing really, really hard. And I'm finally at the point where I'm acknowledging I put in the season of my life. And I'm really excited with those accomplishments. And I'm going to be able to go off and do the next chapter of my life and not have to work for money and trade time for money. And on the winner circle, this call is specifically usually about mindset in particular. We have all sorts of different winner circle calls where we go over just championship mentality. What is it that winners do that's different than the average person or than the losers out there? You know, champions have a specific mindset. They have a different way of looking at things. They look at the world and obstacles and opportunities and all of that's relationships, money. They look at it through a different paradigm. And what a paradigm is, if you haven't heard that, it's kind of like the goggles. It's the glasses that you see the world through. So that was the whole intention when we created the winner circle call, to talk about that paradigm that the most successful people and the champions and the people that just kind of seem to have that Midas touch, right? They always make things work, or in the end, a lot of time you don't hear about the struggle they go through, but in the end, it seems to always work out for them. They got that Midas touch, whatever endeavor they get involved in. And we like to talk about that paradigm that they see the world in. And that's what the winner circle call is all about. Now, this week is a very, very special week for me. If you're on this morning's call, I am 36, just turned 36, and I am retiring in a week from this business, from just going out there and doing the daily stuff that I've been doing. And so I really want to talk about the power of this business. I will get into mindset and stuff, but with everything that's going on out there, I really want to touch on, you know, when I got into this business, you hear me talk about the season of your life. If you were on, I just played that video, talked about, you know, how to become financially free. And if you find the right vehicle, you put in the season of your life, right? So the season of your life could be 2 years at a really, really high level. It could be 5 years. I personally have been in this industry for 11 years. Okay. So whatever the season of your life is, I hope that you acknowledge that this vehicle is worth committing a season of your life to. And for those that do and go out there and get results and give it enough time, AKA the season of your life, you will own your life. You will be financially free. And money does not buy happiness, but it allows you to go and do the things that you like and enjoy the hobbies you want to enjoy and spend more time with your family, not have to answer to bosses. So though money does not buy happiness by any means, I think it increases your odds if you know how to go out there and enjoy the things that you want to enjoy with it. So tonight, I'm going to talk about this industry, about the current situation in the world, about some things that I see coming at the beginning here. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an economist. I'm not a doctor. I'm going to share just some things that for me are my opinion. They're things that I see as just logic. You can take them for what you will, but tonight I am not giving you any sort of legal or financial advice, just a disclaimer I'm going to put out there right now. It's just stuff that I see logical. And when I got into this business, to me, it was a no-brainer. One of my favorite lines I use with merchants, but it's true. This business, when I got into it, was a no-brainer in terms of just it's a math equation, meaning if I get good at this, if I can get results at this, every deal I make residual income. So if I can get good at this and not quit and give it a season of my life, if I get results multiplied by time, that simply means I'm going to be financially free. Right? There's nothing biased about it. I don't need permission for that. It's just math, right? So if you can get results and you give it a season of your life, you will own your life. So I already knew that getting into it. That's why I went all in. I changed my life. If you haven't read my book, If I Lost It All Today, you can get it for free, download it in the coaching site or find it on Amazon. It'll tell more of the story, but I dove all in. It was a total no-brainer, moved across the country because I knew the outcome of it, which is kind of what I'm taking in and enjoying this week as I'm getting ready to, kind of close some doors and move on to the next chapters. So there's things that I didn't think about when I got into the industry. And those are things that nobody could have predicted, and things that we're seeing right now, AKA COVID and AKA inflation that is on its way, whether that's very soon or, long term. I don't know. I'll let you determine that. But as those things have come up, it is really becoming more and more clear how I don't even. It was just the best choice I ever made in my life. I knew it was an amazing vehicle, but now under the current situation, it's 100 times better than I could have ever planned or ever dreamed of. What has happened and how we've coasted through it and how protected we are moving forward in the future with some of the things that I think are coming. We'll talk about. And I encourage all of you, if you don't already see the light, that this is a smart decision. If you put in a season of your life, you will own your life. If you don't already see that, I hope that you see a couple of additional cherries on top that this business can bring to your life. If you go out there, if you take it serious, you treat it like a business, you go to work, treat it like a job at the beginning, go get results, lay a foundation, and actually turn this into something. So let's kind of get into this right out of the gate. Who's in control, you or life? I think that's a really relevant question over the last, 18 months to ask. And for something for you to consider in your world in the last 18 months and 24 months, did you build something? Did you put yourself in a position? Are you in control of your life, or is life in control of your life? Is a bunch of outside uncontrollable forces dictating your life as of today and as of the last 18 months? Or are you in complete control of your life and what you do and what you decide to do? So the number one rule, I've got plenty of videos on this. I live by this. This is the number one rule. Any self-help book you read, any Tony Robbins, any Zig Ziglar, any success mentality, mindset that you read, the first thing that an individual has to be aware of, acknowledge, admit, and live their life by in order to become something large, to become a very big success, to reach the level that they want to reach, whether it's sports or business or relationship or anything, is you are the captain of your life. You cannot get past life dictating your life if you don't accept this. You might be doing all right if life dictates your life. You got an awesome job, you got some money and things like that. But to fully unlock your potential and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in life and focus on your hobbies and dictate your life, this is a rule that must be acknowledged. You must take it. And that's for the good and the bad, period, end of story. You don't talk to Tom Brady's and Michael Jordan's and Tiger Woods and even Bill Gates and all these mega people that are at the top of everything. Elon Musk. I mean, you could just go down the line. They are in control of their life, period. End of story. So I know a lot of people don't like that, concept because of the position that they're in. It might not be what somebody wants to hear, but it's true. I hate to tell you, it's true. No matter what happens, it's because of you, okay? So when COVID hit, just quick question here. When COVID hit, who here felt like a victim to something that they had no control of? And I'm not poking a finger at you. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad here. Just be honest with yourself. This is the winner circle call. It's about mindset. It's about, taking account for where you're at in your life. And it's just a question, right? So when COVID hit, who here felt like, they had lost control? Like, this is unfair, it's out of my control, and can't go to work, or whatever happened in your life. You felt like the victim, okay? Did your money stop? And obviously we got people all over the country, so different states are up to different things. But I know a lot of states closed everything down. My whole family's up in Washington State. They got hit really hard with all sorts of shutdowns and things. So, did your money stop? Did you feel like it was completely out of your control? Did it feel completely unfair? Right? This wasn't our fault. We didn't cause this. I don't know who did. We're not trying to play the blame game of what the heck. And people are dying, and I don't want to, contribute towards that, but I got to feed my family. What the hell am I going to do? I got to go to work, but I can't. Like, it's unfair. What did you do about it? Did you sit back? And the whole point here is you are the captain of your life. And this is something that winners and champions, they do whatever it takes. They find a way, they adapt, they change, they do something other than sit there and say, this is unfair, and put themselves in the victim position, because they are the captain of their life. They take control, whether it's fair or not, and they do something about it. So the payment processing business under COVID has actually been incredible. So at EasyPay, I know not everyone here is with EasyPay, but in the industry as a whole, I don't know what company you're with, I'm hoping they did or you did, but I can tell you at EasyPay, we adapted. Okay, we literally changed our entire model in 2020. Why? Because we had to, and we weren't going to sit around and cry about it. We adapted. Okay, we saw that the need for what we had actually increased. The need for businesses to increase their profit actually increased. So we saw it as more of an opportunity, more of an open door. So we worked harder in 2020. We worked harder. We didn't necessarily get more results because of the hard work, because of what was going on out there, but we ended up getting about the same results. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Not about how much you work, but the results you get in your life. Part of being the captain of your ship. Time doesn't matter, results do. So we worked harder, we got results. We got accounts. Accounts did really good. Under COVID, processing honestly has really done extremely well. The money never stopped. This is so important, folks. So you can't go back and change the past, obviously, but this week is all about you committing and fully diving into this industry. And hopefully if you're with EasyPay, you've already done that. If you're not with EasyPay, I invite you to check it out. We've got a really, really great thing going. If you're just in the industry, not with EasyPay, that's okay too. But the idea this week, if you're plugging into all of my calls, which I'm doing 2 a day, Monday through Thursday, we actually have a special guest on Friday. I'm going to send an email out on the guy that got me into the industry. Me and him are going to do a cool interview. But the money didn't stop for us that had planted the seeds years ago. And I know so many people that knew about this business years ago that did not establish themselves, and now they're waking up. They're like, I've got to do this, because they see some things coming down the pipeline too, which we're going to talk about, and they want to get ready. So if you felt like life was out of control last year, if you felt like it was unfair, that was, no offense. Again, I'm not trying to poke at people on this call, but you put yourself in that position. You are the captain of your ship. If something goes wrong in my life, I say it to myself too, just as hard as I'm saying it. Even when it's kind of like there's someone else to blame, it's not my fault. No, it's my fault. There's something I could have done. I could have left earlier. I could have made the call a week ago instead of waiting to the last minute. Like, there's so many different things that is easy to blame other people. But at the end of the day, when you're the captain, when you follow the number one rule, it's on you. So for those that coasted through COVID and the money never stopped, that's because you, and those that were on the opposite side of that spectrum, that was on you as well. And the good news is that you're still you're still the captain of your life, and you can start now. Okay. This is what last year looked like for us in our family. We've never stopped. Nothing stopped. The money didn't stop. The traveling didn't stop. This is payment processing. I could have 100 more pictures up there. I just grabbed a couple, honestly, like 10 minutes before this call. I just threw a couple out there. We traveled more than ever in 2020. Our money went up in 2020. We changed more people's lives in 2020. We were able to help more businesses in 2020 that needed it more than ever. And in 2021, the momentum has just carried over because we took the steering wheel, we changed, we adapted, we're the captains of our life, and we did something about it. And if you're in a position in your life, I invite you tonight, no matter who it's with, hopefully with EasyPay, but no matter who it is, to take control of your life so that down the road, nothing can stop it. And the money doesn't stop, and that you are in control, okay? So again, I said the disclaimer at the beginning. I'm not some economist, but I can do basic math. I can figure out basic stuff. And in my opinion, especially since last month, the numbers are crazy, which I'm going to show you in a second. But there's something called inflation coming. Now that we've talked about COVID and what this business did for those that were in it, God forbid anything like that happens or another lockdown comes, but get yourself in position to build your business. So if some disease or whatever happens, you're in the driver's seat. Now let's talk about inflation, because this is a very real thing and it's happening. Okay. So inflation, the definition of inflation, a persistent increase in the level of consumer prices or a persistent decline in the purchasing power of money. You know, you see things right now, the cost is going up. I live in Florida. We are absolutely booming down here. Real estate skyrocketed. I think it has just about everywhere around the US. I'm always on Zillow looking at stuff. So you're kind of looking at places, even where there has been big lockdowns, and prices have really gone up. And we're sitting there like, is prices of everything going up, or is our dollar going down? And to be honest, I don't really care, because they both are kind of the same thing. But if I had to, pinpoint one, I'd say the purchasing power of the dollar is going down, which is going to, cause higher prices. So that's happening. Okay, so is the market of price and goods, services going up, or is the purchasing power going down? So let's talk about this. So the average inflation rate, this is really, really important, folks. This is not mindset, but you need to pay attention to what's going on and get in the captain's seat and do something about this, because these are real numbers right here. So the average inflation rate going back to 1913 per year, I didn't put that in there, but 3.1% per year. Okay, going all the way back to 1913. There's always been inflation, things change. Okay, in April of 2021, this just came out a couple of days ago. In the month of April, inflation was 4.2% nationwide. I want that to sit in for a second, folks. I want you to look at this. This is very, very important. If you're going to be in business, if you're going to be a captain of your life, if you're going to, put your family in position and put yourself in position, pay attention. It's higher last month than it has been on an annual basis. Now, next month it could be 1%. Next month it could go 0. But right now, they're printing trillions and trillions of dollars. Trillions. I don't know if you know the difference between like a million, billion, and trillion, but trillion is like a crazy, crazy, crazy level, okay? And they're doing it with plural dollar bills, okay? What would happen to the Babe Ruth cards if they went out and printed a trillion Babe Ruth cards? What would happen to all the other cards out there? Okay, this is just logic. Okay, same thing with the money. So what can you do? So again, I got my disclaimer at the top. I'm a big Robert Kiyosaki guy. Robert Kiyosaki is how I really, really got obsessed, not just like into residual income, obsessed about residual income. I really like Robert Kiyosaki. Some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with him, if not all of you. But he's been talking about it for years about they're just printing money. He's big into gold and silver. Again, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just sharing something that he put out there. But what he's been promoting, and he was anti-Bitcoin for a while. Now he talks about it. I'm not even going to, go down that. If you like it or not, I don't really care. But when inflation gets out of control and people lose confidence in the dollar, here's some things that many, many people that are much smarter than me and actual economists and know what's going on say that you can invest in. Okay, so if you've got an extra $1 million laying around or $100,000 laying around, these might be a great spot for you to park some money. But not everybody has that kind of money laying around that they can put into something that kind of hedges them against this inflation that's on the way. So what else can you do? You can get out there and you can start signing more merchant accounts. I'm going to talk to you about this and relate this to inflation. I've already explained this industry and how it relates to COVID and everything that just happened. But here's Dustin Gluckert on the left. If you don't know who Dustin is, he's a freaking stud. The title on my book is What I Would Do from Day 1 to Day 180 to Rebuild a Six-Figure Residual Income. Dustin's done it in 5 months, okay? He's done it in less than 180 days. He went out there, he signed merchant accounts, he went to work, okay? One thing I want to tell you about building this business, something that's going to help against inflation, which I'll explain, is You want, some people work just a vertical, and that's okay. Build your business, do whatever. I would encourage people to try to get all different types of businesses out there, because the more different types of businesses you have, different industries have different prices that are affected when inflation happens. So for example, right now lumber is up. I've got a buddy, he's a like mega real estate guy down here in South Florida, and I watched one of his Facebook live videos, and he said that lumber was up 400% in the last, I don't know if it was, beginning of this year or just last month or what, but the inflation on lumber was 400%. Luckily, milk and eggs hasn't gone up 400%. But if you only have one vertical, you're only keeping up with the inflation for that industry. Where if you cover a lot of bases, I was all about hit them all, hit all the doors. Obviously, there's some doors you're just not going to hit because you can't sign them. But, I'm not going to go hit Walmart, obviously. But as far as industries, I want everything that's out there. So as inflation has happened, and when I built my business, I didn't think about inflation like we're talking about now. But now that it's built, and we've got everything, just all the different industries. So if lumber's up 400%, but gas, or not gas, that's up too. But if milk didn't go up, I'm not relying on just one specific type of business. I can average out all of those, which that average is. When I said in April, inflation was 4.2%, obviously that averages it out. I want a piece of those averages, because as soon as the price goes up, if you've got a lumber yard, which we do, hopefully you do too, as soon, not like next week or next month, or, we get the report and find out that the cost of lumber went up 400%, and then we make our changes and then our residual income grows with it. No, the second that lumber yard raises their prices, we get the exact same ratio that they raise their price reflected in our residual income, right? If this was $1,000 and next month it's $2,000, we're seeing a 50% increase because there was a 50% increase in the price. So our residual income will literally, to the second the price changes, increase with it. This would have never dawned on me 11 years ago, when I already knew this was an amazing industry, but with inflation coming, think about that. Unbelievable business. So each account is an asset that works for you. I mean, I'm sure we all already know that. Going back to Robert Kiyosaki, I like to keep things really simple. That's one of the reasons I like him. And an asset is something that puts money in my pocket every single month. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. If I have something that puts money in my pocket every single month, that's an asset. So that means every time you sign a merchant account, that's an asset that you didn't even have to buy. You just went out there and you worked for it. That's one of the reasons why this business is absolutely amazing. So when you go out there and you stack your asset column with merchant accounts that are in different industries, each one of those businesses are literally now an asset that works for you. Okay, so if a lumber yard and a grocery store are in business and they're open and they're running transactions, all those employees down there that it takes to run that business, to run cards, are working for you. When you drive down the freeway, I was just up in Montana with Dustin, and I can't remember the business, but we saw a billboard on the side of the road he's like, oh, that's where we're heading to go do a testimonial video. I was like, Dustin, that billboard is working for you. Even though you didn't have to pay for it, that is a business that is literally operating. It's got employees that are working around the clock. No matter what you're doing, they're open, running cards. It is an asset in your life. And he's like, oh my gosh, that is freaking cool. Yes, all these employees, all the marketing, all the efforts to get more business in those businesses' doors are like employees for you. It's an asset for you. Okay, where else can you do that? You can do that right here. So let me give you an example. So if you have $1,000 as your current residual income, whether this is next month or next year or whatever, however long it takes, if you just took the exact same processing volume that paid you $1,000, those accounts raised their prices by 10%, you would literally see $1,100 because they raised their cost of goods by 10%, it's going to be an instant reflection in your business. Okay, this business is inflation proof, obviously, is the point that I'm making here. It's unbelievable stuff. So controlling your investment. I'm going to sip of water here. I've got a chapter in my book. It's called The Greatest Investment. And I compare this to other industries and how much money you'd have to have in stocks at a certain dividend percent, or how much in bonds at a certain payout, or how many rental properties with a certain cash on cash if you're into real estate, which you should be if you can. But with this, you don't have all that investment capital. It takes you making the commitment and saying, this is what I'm going to do. Short of death, this is what I'm going to do. There's nothing that can stop it. I'm going to make this happen. All you need is gas in the vehicle. Not even that. You can take the bus. Okay, when I lived in LA, I'd walk out the apartment, and that's where I started on Van Nuys Boulevard and worked that street for 6 months, okay? In theory, really just a paper and pen. You print off some apps and you got a pen, you get out there and you start talking to people and you go help people. So one merchant account with us on average pays a $500 commission and say $100 in residual income. So you could, for $50 or less, go walk down the street, make $500, and most importantly, obviously, is that $100 in residual income. Where else can you make that investment? Where else do your investments grow directly based on your work ethic? What kind of job could you have where you could go out every day and give yourself a raise if you can get the results? Now, even if you're getting one account a week, what job can you give yourself a raise weekly? $100 a month weekly raise. Right here in this industry, that's where. So what would your ROI be if you invested $50, but your return for that $50 was $500 plus $100 in residual income? The answer is infinite. It's something Robert Kiyosaki talks about. It's an infinite return. You can't calculate it. If you divide those two numbers, it's not calculatable. Okay, you've already got your money back, plus it's going to give you $100 a month over and over and over and over again. You already got your money back. It's an infinite return. And it's one of the best things I love about this business. You control it. So let's step it up a notch here. If you're doing one merchant account a week, I know everyone on here is hungry. Everybody wants more. A lot of people on here might be brand new, or maybe you've been in the industry, but you want to get more accounts. Okay, we do coaching. Yes, there's a cost for coaching. Right? There's different people out there. There's freeple people that want stuff for free. There's cheapo people that want things for really cheap. They normally get crappy stuff because they're always buying cheap. And then there's preple people. And they're saying there's a premium for things that work good and help you. Okay, so for all you preple people, yes, there's a cost for coaching. But what if you invested in coaching and you sped up the equation? This is like small numbers here, folks. I really watered this down here. What if instead of one merchant account a week, you did two? For that extra $1,000, okay? So you did two merchant accounts instead of one, you got $1,000 return and now $200 ROI. You're still at infinite return in your first month. You can do that right here. What's your return? It's infinite within your first month, and that's 2 deals. And I'm going to tell you Dustin's numbers. Like it's ridiculous, and I'll let him share his story. We're going to save that for Thursday night. If you need to mark your calendars for Thursday night, let me just put it that way, okay? So this is controlling your investment. So I'm going to talk about my cash discount business. When I first started cash discounting, and just like merchants, when I first saw cash discounting and heard about it, I was like, I don't know that people's customers are going to like that. It's legitimate. When I talk to a merchant and their concern is, I don't know how my customers are going to react to that, that is a legitimate concern. I had that same concern as a person in the industry, and I didn't jump right in. But after a little bit of time went by, I had a buddy that was doing really well, and finally was like, let me go test this. Let me go test this, okay? So I went out there, and these numbers are in the book as well. So with me, I built my business. Yes, I would work locally, But eventually I work all the little areas around where I'm at. If I'm in Seattle, I go hit all the little areas. Before you know it, I'm all the way out in Montana. And then eventually I got to buy an airplane ticket. I lived in Dallas. I find myself all the way up in, Oklahoma and Arkansas, to the point where eventually you go far enough away where I get on an airplane. But I could get results in this business. That's what I do. I get results. I've never gone out and not freaking exploded my business when I go out on a road trip. So I travel. I go hit small towns. Airplane, $300 first run. Rental car and gas, $350. Hotels, $700 because I go out for weeks at a time. I don't just go for a couple of days. I go put in work and grow my business. Some food. First road trip, $1,450 invested. And I signed 15 deals in 2 weeks. And on average, $500, that's $7,500. And when I saw the residual income that the cash discount program could bring, which on my first trip was $2,000, I literally stopped everything going on in my life. I do mobile home investing. I do investing. I do some other different things. I did do some other different things until this trip. When I saw that residual income of $2,000 in one road trip, I signed a couple monster accounts. Where can you get those kind of numbers? It doesn't exist. And it rocked us through COVID, and it's inflation proof. So folks, if you're not already, get with the program, okay? This is what's in front of you. It could change your life. And if you take the steering wheel, if you say, I'm the captain of my ship, short of death, nothing could possibly stop me because I'm in charge of the outcome and I won't quit. How could you quit? How could you stop? How could you lose? You can't. At all costs, you got to learn how to get results and get those kind of numbers working for you. If you're not getting them, get some coaching. I don't care if it's me or somebody else, but you've got to do this. You've got to make this work. It'll absolutely change your life. So there's no business out there that can take a hardworking individual and create a cash flow rich business in a matter of a couple of years, folks. I understood that when I very, very first got into it. I know most of you on this call understand that. That's why you're in the industry. That's why you're with Easy Pay. And whether you are building a thriving business or you're struggling right now, I know that's why you're sticking with it and will continue to stick with it, because in the end, when you build a cash flow rich business, the struggles of today will not matter. They won't matter. They'll be behind you, and all the things that the hobbies that you want to have and the time you want to spend with your family. Let me tell you a story. My wife was pregnant with our first son, and this is in the book as well, but we lost our residuals. I don't know, 3 months before our first son was born. I spent 3.5 or 4 years with this company, built up a healthy residual income, and had a baby on the way, newly married, and we lost all of our residuals. And do you think that when that happened and I was broke again, I was like overnight broke, folks, overnight. I went from financial freedom to broke overnight. Do you think I went out and I looked for a job? There's no business out there that can take a hardworking individual and create a cash flow rich business in a matter of a couple of years. I did it again, but I did it with more enthusiasm. I did it with more reason that this needs to work. I worked harder. I sacrificed time. The first 3 years of my son's life, I was on the road, at least 2 of them. I would send my wife to Mexico with her family for 3 months, and go do a road trip by myself. Okay. Whatever it takes, you have to do. And the reason why I was willing to do that is because I knew it would build a cash flow rich business. I got a newborn son who, as much as I want to be there, when he's in T-ball, dad will never miss it. Dad will always be there when he's old enough to know what's going on. But right now, I got to go. I got to go do whatever the heck I got to do. And I'm not saying you need to go on the road for 3 months and away from your family. I'm telling you my story. You go write your story. You go make it awesome. The more you're struggling right now, if you are, the better it's going to be. And those struggles and those sacrifices are worth it, right? This is the week for me to take in that I've put in that season of my life and those struggles and with my family, all those things that I did, I was right. And so are you. If you see the light, if you see that this will build that life, whatever you're going through, it's worth it. Okay. Again, these are small numbers, but I love these pictures at the bottom. I literally see the world through this paradigm now. And this I did before the industry because of Robert Kiyosaki. As soon as I heard about residual income, it just made sense. I was like, people know about this. Why the hell does anybody have a job? Like, doesn't. Why would anyone do anything except for work for residual income? The whole world's in the damn hamster wheel, man. And we can, with a paper and pen, walk down the street and get out of it. That picture on the bottom right, we can break out if you're willing to work. These are small numbers here. I want to really put some bigger numbers out there, but we're going to be talking to some big people in the industry this week on our nightly calls. So plug into those. We'll talk bigger numbers with people that have been out there doing it for a long time. Everything that we're talking about, those are the kind of guests we're going to have the evening calls the rest of this week. But right here, folks, even if you're going out there, those are deals per month, 3, 5, and 10. Okay. There's no one on this phone or on this webinar that is not capable of doing 3 deals. I don't care who you are. Okay. If you're not doing 3 deals, you're not working hard enough, you're not plugging in, you're not adapting, you're not changing, you're not calling a coach, you don't have a mentor, you're with the wrong company, you're doing contracts, you're trying to lease, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Obviously, there's nobody that with the right help, I guess I should clarify, can't do 3 deals. Okay. 3, 5, and 10. If you look over at the end of 12 months, you're going to have some fun. You're going to have some residual income. Now, you may not be financially free in your first year. Dustin, in 5 months, has built 6 figures. If he can do it, why can't you? But what if that doesn't happen? What if it takes you a little bit longer? It doesn't matter. The outcome is all that matters. Remember, when you're the captain of your ship, this is the winner circle. Winners don't focus on the time. We focus on the results. I don't care what you got to do. Focus on the result of getting that number up, whether that's in 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months. It's something that's got to be done. You've got to step up to the next level and change your life and own your life. If you're not getting the support, again, this is winner circle. I'm not trying to have a recruiting call here, but if you don't have the support, if you don't have the training system, you need to come check out EasyPay. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, we've got all that stuff for you. We can help you if you don't have that. Okay, so I love this right here. This went out on an email. I can't tell you how many people I talked to. I'm really excited about this week because I can just be really blunt, be really, really direct. On the winner circle, I've toned it down. But I can't tell you how many people I talk to that tell me they want it, that tell me they want the outcome, that tell me they're going to get it. They're going to start next week. Next month, something's going to happen. After the kids are back from vacation or summer vacation, I'm going to get started. And they have everything in the book of what they're going to do except for fully committing. And that is the common denominator, folks. And that is the whole topic of this week. It is the turning point. And you'll probably hear it multiple times in the calls that we're going to have, because every single person that has built this business at a high level, when you ask them, when did it turn around? When did you start having success? When did it click? When did it change? It's always when I quit messing around and dove all in. Always. The answer is never. Somebody's business never takes off while they're just testing the waters. Nobody's business blows up when they're only working on Saturdays. It's always the people that have burned the ships. There is no plan B. There is no option other than the end result being own your life. And when you get obsessed with that result, not the I don't like doing door to door, or I don't like making phone calls, or no one wants to talk to me, and all the crap you're feeding yourself, Get that stuff out of your mind. And you got to get obsessed with the result, because that's what will drive a full commitment. That's what gets you up at 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, like Dustin, going and installing point of sales. And he's there at the butt crack of dawn. He's got to drive 2 hours just to the business, and he wants to get it done so he can go sign more deals. That's not from someone half-assing it. That's from someone fully committed. When I got in this business, I gave up my dream lifestyle in Florida, sold my motorcycle, sold everything in Florida, which was my paradise where I wanted to be, and went back to rainy Seattle in the middle of winter. It was a full commitment. I didn't plan on being in Seattle long. I just had to go there and learn it and go hang out with Anthony Smith so he could teach me the business so I could bounce. And I had to make it work because I didn't want to be up there, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes for the end result. And anybody that's built this business feels the same way. They will do whatever it takes. And somebody that's not fully committed will always find an excuse and fall short of whatever it takes. So folks, I hope that you make that commitment. If you're out there, if you need help, if you want some extra coaching, if you're serious about this, I've got my coaching site. Every single person on here, I believe, is going to be in the coaching site. You probably have access to this. And there's a ton of great free content back here that can help you out, no matter who you're with, no matter how long you've been in the industry. This intro to cash discount, how to get started selling, leads and tracking, testimonials up here. These are all free. Anybody, you guys all have access to that stuff. But if you're serious and you want some actual coaching on exactly how to do this, at the end of this week, I will not be doing live webinars anymore. I have worked the season of my life, those years where I was in a hotel, not with my 1 and 2-year-old son. That season of my life has paid off. It has built a monster empire, cash flow rich business that continues to grow. And my last goal that I've been planning is always, how do I help more people go and get this freaking awesome result in their life? How do I get more people to get the benefit of what this industry has to offer? How do I find the people that actually have the ability to do it and teach them how? And I used to go out in the field with people, and it was really, really successful. But as I grew and as my business grew, and I can't be everywhere. I can't just go out and take people into the field. You guys are everywhere. Right here, I can. This is the Netflix of rebuttals. These are all rebuttals right here. I can bring you in the field and show you. You want full pitches? Here's full pitches from walking into the door to closing the deal. I'm getting 5 to 10 rebuttals on each one of these. The exact same rebuttals that you guys are getting right now every single day are in these videos. How do you overcome them and walk out with the paperwork? Okay, if you want to save yourself years of time, this premium membership is what I would recommend. This is my legacy of everything that I know about the industry. Literally, there's nothing I could say in a live webinar that is not in that coaching page right there. Okay, so I've been charging $29.97 for people that are not with EasyPay. We've been doing the one rebuttal away challenge for people within EasyPay at $9.97. That does include some other stuff. It's got a polo. It's got my $millions sales book. It's got other things in it. That's why it was only for EasyPay. But if you want access to that, if you want to change your business, right? And I could give a crap less. This is a winner's circle webinar. It's not about selling you something, but this is my last week, and I want to change as many people's lives as possible. And this library is the way that I can work with you 24 hours a day, right from wherever you are, and you can change your business, okay? So this price will go up $100 every single night, every night this week. So right now I have it at $497 at midnight Pacific time, so 3 Eastern. That will automatically go to $597. And on Wednesday, it's going to be $697 until it goes back to $997. So I appreciate those of you that are here on my last week. The first day to kick off this week, it's going to be nothing but amazing calls all week long. We've got awesome testimonials and awesome guests all week long, every night this week on the original schedule. Friday, there wasn't anything. I will send out an email once it's confirmed. I'm hoping to get on the last live webinar testimonial I do with Anthony Smith, who's the person that got me into this business. and we're going to really reminisce about the journey, which is going to be freaking awesome. But even if you're not on all of them, every single night this week, folks, get back here. I will email it over to you. I'm actually going to put this in the chat box. Get rid of that. Boom. And I know this business will change your life. I know that this site will change your business. All panelists and attendees. So I put it right there in the link. So I'm not getting on. I'm not taking calls. And folks, there was actually an error in here. So you just got another $50 discount. If you're serious about building this business, it's at $447. That's supposed to be $497. So there you go. It is $150 cheaper tonight than if you wait till tomorrow. In the coaching site, I will continue to do videos. I will continue to do lessons. I will continue to work with the elite people that are actually treating this like a business, but I am definitely retiring from trying to get the people that are just at the beginning that don't see the light and trying to convince you to see the light. I'm done with it, okay? There's enough videos out there that can help you. And if you haven't at the end of this webinar seen the light, then I'm at a loss of words. For the rest of you that are serious about building this business, this is everything that I could possibly offer you to create a different outcome in your life. Folks, over the next couple of years, you come up with your own conclusion. There's a lot that has happened in the last, 18 months. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next 18 months, but I can tell you that when trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars is printed, it is going to cause inflation. It is going to cause problems. That is my opinion. You go do your own homework and come up with whatever conclusion you want. But I also want to tell you that there is, in my opinion, a 2-year window in cash discounting where right now, more than ever, people are accepting cash discounting. Maybe you're in a state where businesses are just reopening. And the ones that are reopening, guess what? They just made it through some shit, didn't they? Like they made it through. It is their time to see a profit again. And they are going to be more ready for cash discounting than ever before. And their customers are going to be more accepting of it. I've got a lot of testimonial videos we just did. And people are like, you know what? My customers are actually glad I'm doing it. They want me to stay in business. Customers are going to be more understanding. Businesses need it more than ever. You've got a 2-year window. The industry's not going anywhere, but there's 2 years of absolute prime time to go build your merchant service business, get ahead of inflation, lay a foundation so that no matter what does come in the near future in the next 1 to 10 years, you've put a business in place that you are going to coast through it, just like me and everyone else that's been in the industry that laid a foundation coasted right through COVID. Okay, so you are on the clock in terms of get your foundation laid if you haven't already laid it. If you already have a foundation, make it stronger. And if you're serious about doing that at a quicker pace, there is zero doubt in my mind that this site and the premium membership back here can absolutely speed up the process. I hope that you get it tonight at $447. I will see everybody on tomorrow morning's call. I will be doing it live. I will be going over the next step of the 5 unbreakable fundamentals, talking about increasing your sales, folks. I hope that this has been a helpful winner circle call. I hope that you commit to this industry, and I hope that it creates the reward in your life that it has created in mine and my family's. Whatever it takes, get it done. See you at the top. Have a good night.